So I've been waiting for this day for about 2 weeks, but I know many photographers out there have actually been waiting about 2 years. I'm not actually too up and up on what's going on in the world of medium format digital cameras. I own a Phase 1 IQ3 digital back with an XF camera body, which is about as good as you could get back when I bought it. They have an entire new series of IQ4 digital backs now that are amazing. Ever since Fuji launched a rangefinder style medium format camera, I have had my interest piqued. And a couple weeks ago, I was on the internet and saw a random picture in an ad for something that wasn't even camera related. And I was like, oh, that's funny. Somebody, for the sake of the ad, photoshopped a film camera to look like it was digital. And it just kind of caught my eye, but I came across it again when I was browsing Adorama's website. And I saw that Hasselblad had announced back in 2018 this camera that I'm about to unbox. So I actually don't know that much about the specs on this camera. I just saw it and knew that I had to buy it and try it. I have both the camera body and an XCD lens, which is the mount that Hasselblad launched, I think back with Hasselblad's mirrorless medium format camera around 2016, which I tried in person at a show and really didn't like. I can't even remember the model number of that camera, but I just want to walk you through an unboxing with this beautiful, beautiful piece of machinery. So I'm pretty sure this has essentially the same sensor as what Fuji uses. The actual millimeter size on the website is the exact same, and it's 51 point something megapixels. Oh, wow. Look at that presentation. First of all, okay, right out of the box, just to say, this is a very small box. I have a box for the lens that came with it, and it's like twice as big and heavy. We'll get into in a second. But this box is very compact, and I can see why. The only elements that we have are the digital camera back itself, which we'll take a look at in a second, has the sensor right there, the back screen, which is, my favorite aspect, and the thing that really caught my eye with this is that it's a digital film-esque camera, but you can shoot 90 degrees using live view instead of having to use any optical interface whatsoever. We'll get more into that in a second. And then this is it's called the 907X lens mount. This is essentially the mechanism that goes between your sensor back and the actual lens that you want to mount. It also has the button that controls shutter, whatever setting you want to map this to. I think by default it comes as a aperture ring, but I think this can also control shutter. And then a lens eject button to take it out. So I'm going to assemble everything right now and also unpack the rest of the accessories, which I'm assuming are just straps and like chargers and stuff. It is a USB-C chargeable camera, which I love. That's in this little slot here. And on this side, it has a beautiful door with dual memory card slots and a battery. So the battery is about this size. I did buy an extra battery, but it hasn't come yet. The stock on these seem to be fairly scarce. It's so nice. It's not too heavy. It feels really solid. The way I would imagine a film camera back in the day would feel. I never shot film myself. So, this is a really interesting return to the experience, or a close experience of shooting film in terms of workflow and just the overall feel in your hand. Again, this is sort of playing in the realm of Leica cameras or the Pixie camera that I reviewed a couple weeks ago as well. It's sort of the rangefinder style. This has a much more tactile sort of experience to it already, and it's not even set up yet. So let's see what else we have in the box. We have in this one a focus screen, which I'm assuming, this looks like it's just a sticker, and I'm assuming what this does is lay on top of, hopefully not your viewfinder, maybe some other adapter, I don't know, so that you can compensate for certain crop aspect ratios or whatever, depending on which lenses you want to use. But I only have one lens for it. And then the random manual paperwork, that's fine. This is just labeled accessories. Ooh, a braided USB-C to USB type A cable. That's cool. I'll leave that like that for now. And a really, really nice camera strap. I love the feel. It's almost like a microfiber suede feel. That's going to be really nice. On both sides, it kind of feels the same. I'll work on that in a little bit. Looks like you attach that to the lugs probably, on this mount right here. So again, I do apologize if some of the things I'm saying sound obvious or just readily known by other people that have shot Hasselblad in the past. I have never held a Hasselblad camera in my hand ever in my life. So this is all very new to me. We just have our adapter for charging, which I'll probably need. And what do we have here? Looks like, cool, shutter release. So I guess if you're doing long exposure, you can have vibration-free shutter pressing, especially if you do landscapes, stuff like that. Okay, so let's assemble this guy. This button on top, you just push it to the side. I'm glad that it's on top. It seems like it's well out of the way, so you're not likely to accidentally bump that. Oh, I gotta take this one off of the actual back there. Cool. And there's the view of the sensor. It's quite large, not as big as the Phase 1 IQ3 that I own, but still, this should have much faster autofocus and much faster just overall workflow in general compared to my Phase 1. And oh my gosh, it's so much smaller. This is the whole camera right here. This is the entire camera. From here on out, all you do is pop this off and throw on whatever lens you want. I bought a couple lenses, but I only have one to play with today. So we'll go ahead and, I'm not gonna make the unboxing of this quite as grand, but yeah, it's got a lens hood, looks like a boxed bag, which seems kind of silly. And then the lens itself, which is very large. One of the reasons in the brief research I did before buying this camera, oh my gosh, it's really in there. One of the reasons this system caught my eye is that it seems that Hasselblad was ahead of the curve in the medium format world with a shallow depth of field lens. This is an 80mm f1.9 lens. Now, the only other close comparison that I'm aware of that's coming out is a Fuji lens, which is an 80mm f1.5. So an even wider aperture, but that's not coming out till sometime 2021. And I wouldn't even hold my breath for that based on, you know, the realities of manufacturing these days due to the coronavirus. But this is launched and in my hands and out right now, and it's an 80mm. So this becomes roughly like a 63, I think, or 68mm field of view with an equivalent aperture of like an f1.5. So roughly like a 63 f1.5, or sorry, if you're shooting full frame, you know, 35mm sensor. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this guy off. Okay, they need to highlight the red dot a little more. I can't seem to find it. There it is. Wow, that is not easy. Okay, and you just snap it in and you're off. So that's it. Oh, it's so strange to hold this. Feels very much like you're just holding a lens, not so much an entire camera. This just flips out and let's boot her up. Got the Hasselblad logo and your various settings. I'm guessing if I half press the shutter, there we are. Now we're in full live view. Ooh, I like the responsiveness of the screen. It's probably hard to tell video and video, but the responsiveness of the screen is really fluid. It doesn't lag or doesn't have any rolling shutter or anything like that. In other words, the refresh rate, really pleasing. I don't know what mode it's in now. I'm guessing, oh, okay, so touching the screen just moves the focus point. That's nice. I'm guessing we're in some sort of auto mode by default, but here's the basic back panel menu. And it does have an app that should work for pretty seamless connectivity, but I'm not going to set that up in this video. I mostly just wanted to take one single photo. So let's get it focused on my screen here. And it's focus racking. I'm not sure how close the minimum focus distance is. Oh, what happens if I go... Oh, manual focus override is really seamless and smooth. That's nice. It's nice that this has dual slots. They're really like I don't know how many professionals would really use this for much, but it's definitely a nod to professional consideration. It's kind of hard to put in there. I feel like I shouldn't have to force it, but I kind of did. That's weird. I wonder if there's a little alignment issue. Let's try one more time. Okay, it was easier that time. I really love the flip out, just kind of spring-loaded thing. That's a really nice experience and very fast. Now they do sell an add-on grip for like a bulky right-handed grip if you want. And you'll notice one thing with this, there's no hot shoe built into the camera at all. And from what I can tell, there's no hot shoe available whatsoever with this camera. They have another adapter that's an optical viewfinder that mounts via cold shoe. But yeah, from what I can tell, this doesn't seem to have any flash consideration at all, which is fine with me. I mostly just want this for fun personal travel work, which I feel very lucky to indulge in with a camera this expensive and of this caliber. So there's the hole for the USB-C charging, and this will also do data connection to your computer, of course. And well, that's about it. I'm gonna take, again, one picture of myself on a screen just to hear what the shutter sounds like. And that's it. Here, I'll get it really close. Oh, and that's as fast as it'll go. Oops, slowing down. So it's got a mode where I think the curtain sort of stays up, where it kind of keeps it in a halfway state. And if you want to do a burst of photos, it does it a little bit faster than, you know, trying to reset to 0 every single frame. So I'm in love with it so far. This lens is very heavy. I have a couple lighter weight lenses coming my way, and it'll be interesting to see how quickly or easily I get used to shooting with this sort of layout and configuration for my hands. But you know, it's so refreshing and just fun and inspirational to be using an entirely different sort of workflow and way of thinking with photo making that's from an era well beyond when, you know, I started shooting at all, much less professionally. So that's it. This is the Hasselblad CFV 250C. So far, gosh, this thing is built so well. I'm excited to put it through its paces, and I'll share a couple of raw files in the article link that goes on my Patreon feed. So thank you so much for your attention. Let me know if you have any questions at all, or if anybody else out there has purchased one themselves. I would love to hear your experience and feedback with it. Undeniably beautiful camera. And as always, thank you so much for your attention. Bye.